Yo, 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 yo. What's up, all you burners, stoners, and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there? Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are you?
Doing good.
You doing good?
Yeah.
You should be doing great.
I'm doing great.
I love it.
All right. Why should I be doing great?
Because you did something great. We're recording in the basement studio that's finally done.
Yay.
Finally.
Yeah.
Great job. I appreciate it.
I know you do.
I fucking love it. I got to record. I'm actually doing a double banger.
Back-to-back episodes.
Back-to-back episode. We just did the Grow Hour with a special guest, and now I'm banging with you right now, another podcast.
Well, that sounds interesting.
But it was awesome. I had a great episode with Big Earl and Terp Fiend, and now I get to do a phenomenal episode with you.
Oh.
So, before we start talking, why don't we start smoking?
Now
I need to get
when am I
high
smoking?
again. I've already been high, but I kind of lost the high, so I need to get high again. And we're smoking a strain that Big Earl gave me. It is Chem, and it is bred with also cheese. So I don't know the whole lineage of the strain. I didn't have a chance to look it up, but just call it Chem cheese. So I smoked it during the last podcast that I did about an hour ago, and it was pretty fucking phenomenal. Taste was good. You smoked some of it too earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think?
It was nice. I had not like a big brain fog
No,
strain.
not at all.
I was still able to function and work really well, but I had a nice body high.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes on this one, because I didn't have to do a lot of talking on the last one. So this one I have to do a lot of talking, so we'll see how shit goes. And Yuki's joining us tonight. She's being very good. And everybody that reached out to me about Yuki being attacked, I appreciate you. She's doing good. Just her back nails are finally starting to grow in a little bit. But she's also good. So I appreciate everybody out there. And
on that note, though, I took her for a walk this evening earlier while Mr. Weedman was recording. And we got around the block. And we do not live in a rural area. We're like the outskirts of the city of Chicago. And it's pretty populated and dense. And walking ahead of us, I'm like, what is that stray dog walking around? There was a coyote hanging out.
Fucking coyote.
It's just a wild coyote.
Was it Wiley?
Wiley coyote.
Super
So
genius.
Yuki is like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, not again. Really? Is this dog going to come after me? So we all just kind of had a little stare down from a distance. That coyote crossed the street and was like staring at us. And then laid down in the grass in front of a house. It was very
You're
weird.
lucky.
I wasn't quite sure. Do we move quickly or do we just stay still? So we just stayed still until I felt like it was kind of, there was a car blocking it, and then we kind of started walking, and then I looked back and he decided to get up and continue on down the street in the other direction. Pretty crazy.
Good thing.
He was big.
Good thing Yuki is almost full grown, because if it was a little dog, I bet you that coyote.
Would have come at us?
Oh, yeah,
Even
'cause
with me there, though?
It doesn't matter. They don't give a shit. They're Wile E. Coyote. They're Wile E.
I was just
for a
standing
reason.
there like, really? Really? How am I going to explain this one?
Well, I'm glad you
I was
and
ready to
Yuki are
kick it.
okay.
I was ready
You
to
would have
kick
done
it.
karate, huh?
Yes, I would have done some major karate.
This strain's
Yes.
pretty good. I'm high again, which is great. Kicked in from the last one. So
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Sure.
We're watching Great British Baking Show, and Mrs. Weedman fucking
Finally
A.
got some points.
Points on the board. You picked the technical,
We're
and you
doing a fantasy draft.
yes for
for-
Great British Baking Show.
yeah.
And I was in second place. Polly was at 15 points. I had 10. You had
6 or 5.
You had 4. 5? 4. You had 4 because you got 7 on this episode. So you had 4 points, and Shawty had 3. Shawty finally got some points. She's at 5, or 7. She's at 7. She's still in last. I got 10, but you pulled it out.
did.
You're in second place now.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep. You picked the technical and friggin' Star Baker. But the crazy thing, what you did was though.
I know. I'm visual, and I didn't have a photo of the people in front of me. I couldn't remember who. We were just talking on were we FaceTiming with the kids?
Yeah.
And just picking people without having. Anyway, I couldn't even remember who was left, and I picked the same person for Star Baker as I picked for
Yes,
elimination.
you
and
did.
But did any of you say, "Hey"? No,
you know-
nobody caught on. Nobody caught on. Or maybe you did, and you're like,
I think we did. No, I
Too
think
bad,
we.
so sad.
No, I think I did catch it, but I'm like, I guess you could do that. No one said anything about it. I did hear you say. I did hear you say the person's name twice that you want. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Paulie's not saying anything about that. It's wrong, so whatever. You know.
I mean, she couldn't have won both, but she could win.
Yeah.
One.
And she did
one
win one
or the other.
She did
and
win one out of two.
Yeah.
So
I was half right.
good job.
Not bad.
Kick some ass.
Yeah.
You ready to get the stove started? Or the show started? I started show.
Let's start.
Let's start, shall we?
Yeah.
Is CBN the fountain of youth? Here's what a recent study found. And we've talked about CBN multiple times. It's a great sleep aid. Everybody knows CBN is when your cannabis gets older. You can also get it there also by growing it too, by letting the terpenes get a little bit older and more amber colorish also. But older weed doesn't mean it's bad, just gets older, produces CBN, which is a cannabinoid. So we've talked about this before, but it turns out that this CBN can help slow aging in brain cells and protect the brain from age-related conditions. It turns out that one of the ways your brain cells can remain sharp over time is a steady dose of CBD. Some days back, the brilliant scientists of Salk revealed this fantastic discovery. They said that CBN, a minor and relative unknown cannabinoid, I wouldn't say it's totally unknown. A lot of the edibles nowadays have CBN in it too. You see a lot because it is a sleep aid. It's just maybe not as researched. So has the potential to protect the brain cells from an adverse impact of aging. Your brain does get old. Research on medical cannabis has been going on for many decades. For the most of the duration, scientists have focused more on the therapeutic properties of major cannabinoids, THC and CBD. Minor cannabinoids like CBN, CBDA, CBGA, CBDV, THCV, CBG, and THCA have been given less attention, but not for long. We've begun to observe the influx of research in the minor compounds. Scientists say that these minor cannabinoids have more offer medically. New researchers are investigating how the compounds are broken down and the interactions with the endocannabinoid system, emphasizing their effects on the brain. Cannabinol and the human brain. Cannabinol has a similar molecular structure to THC, the major difference being that it's not psychoactive. The non-psychoactive property of the compound has caused it to be less regulated by federal agencies. The Salk researchers were pleased to announce that the latest influential studies, which have established that of cannabinol CBN positively impacts the brain. Positively. In the last decade, scientists around the world have tried to investigate the medical potential of CBN. However, the federal prohibition of cannabis plant has limited these studies. Primary pathway to the death of the cells is through oxidative injuries. This is usually followed by neurological disorders in aged people. The new study describes how CBN can shield brain cells, also called nerve cells, from the damaging effects of this pathway. The findings of this trial have been published in the online Free Radical Biology and Medical Journal. The detailed report implies that CBN could be effective to treat and manage age-induced neurodegenerative disease like Alzheimer's. Scientists suggest that CBN has the potential to protect nerve cells as a person ages. The studies and observations following testing healthy and damaged brain cells with CBN, the following observations were made. The report stated that the administrative cannabinol protected the nerve cells. They also observed that the mitochondria, a cell's powerhouse, were protected from oxidative damage. The mitochondria, butchered the hell out of the word, and healthy cells were compared with those damaged cells. Marr and her team found that in the damaged cells appeared to be folded up in rounded shape to shield it from more damage. Those scrunched up powerhouses are frequently noticed within the brain cells of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's patients. On the other hand, the healthy cells appropriately house functioning mitochondria. The powerhouse in these cells remain in its regular non-folded form. Mayer wrote that the team successfully showed that CBN could contribute to maintaining in its nerves. She added that protective effects of CBN urged the proper functioning of the powerhouse. So more information. Xing Leng, co-author, the postdoctoral fellow, says that smoke evidence shows that cannabinol is safe for human and animal consumption. This can be linked to the absence of psychotropic effects after CBN is consumed. The researcher said that CBN works on specific cells in the body while delivering therapeutic events. Bottom line, SOX CBN's research points out that the need for more investigation into lesser studied cannabinoids. Most of these minor cannabinoids have shown little therapeutic potential and a limited level of research done. Some of the therapeutic benefits possessed by CBN, suggested by anecdotal evidence, include pain relief, stress relief, and anti-inflammatory effects. The butterist may point that further comprehensive research shall and must be done. CBN, baby. So, big holiday coming up. Probably one of our favorites. Because you don't have to give gifts. It's just enjoying of food. What is that holiday, Mrs. Weedman?
Thanksgiving.
We give thanks. And
Here in the U.S.
Yes. But
Yeah.
it's just a good day to get together. Eat some fucking turkey. Hang out and do what? Take a walk with your cousins. And Mrs. Weedman's going to tell you what to do when you take a walk with your cousins.
So I have a fun article about the art of sneaking out for a smoke when it's a holiday with family. So, how to take a Thanksgiving weed walk with your cousins. Thanksgiving is built around traditions, and few traditions are more honored and yet less publicly discussed than the annual weed walk among cousins. Call it what you will, the herbal appetizer, the pregame, the halftime stroll, the weed walk, the beer run, the safety meeting. The goal is simple. Exit the family gathering to enjoy a little cannabis with your cousins. Return calm, uplifted, refreshed, and with a botanically enhanced appetite. The strategies necessary to carry out this task are as varied as the screwballs and nut jobs that you call family. To help get you through Thanksgiving, I recently polled a group of experienced cannabis consumers to elicit tips, tricks, advice, and anecdotes related to this annual ritual. Contributors have been granted anonymity in the name of holiday household serenity. So, be prepared. Don't forget the weed. And think through your house exit, your activity, and your reentrance. You will need a reasonably legitimate excuse to leave, and you will have the odor of weed about you upon your return. J-Man, a certified Thanksgiving safety officer, says, if you're concerned about your breath, be sure to bring some mints or gum with you. I personally recommend cinnamon-flavored gum or mints, as the spice blends in with Thanksgiving food offerings. Pretty smart.
Very.
Other offerings included keeping a stash in the car, along with some eye drops, Febreze or a scented spray, football, soccer ball, or some sort of device like to play. Like you need an excuse to go outside, right? Have a lighter, and don't forget the weed. Above all, bringing enough warm outerwear to assure your comfort. A puffy jacket and a knit hat will usually suffice. Don't bring edibles. Your family can't handle them. Seriously. Word will get around. Someone will insist on trying them for the first time, and you'll all spend the evening talking them down or explaining why the gummy hasn't kicked in yet. Either way, it's a lose-lose. Joints work best because of the pass-around factor and an all-around sense of tradition. Bring a box of 3 to 5 to share.
You okay there?
I'm joking.
Take a sip of water.
Smoking and choking.
Smoking and choking on. Well, trust me. If you ain't fucking choking, you didn't smoke. You ain't smoking. So
Yeah.
it happens to the best of us.
Whew, sorry, guys. Vapes are fine, as they offer a more subtle, low-odor option, and they make a good conversation piece. No rigs, though. This is neither the time nor the place to offer anyone their first dab. So, lay the groundwork. It's not a bad idea to forget, one or two items outside in the car. Sorry, Mom, gotta run outside. I forgot something. Or a non-critical food offering. Oh, I think we need whipped cream. Somebody forgot the whipped cream. Oh, I'll run to the store. I know my nieces do that. So something that you can run to a convenience store for, or I'll take a walk down to the corner store. Thanksgiving expert Sam advises, always greet your grandma before the safety meeting. That's what Sam calls it. So you don't reek when you go in for a hug. Also, Check in early with that cousin who's actually a bigger stoner than you. Align your goals. Make sure he or she doesn't slip outside without you. Use football as a time cue. Know your NFL time slots. The Detroit Lions always play the Thanksgiving early game, followed by the Cowboys, and then the New Orleans Saints own the late game. This lineup has remained an unbroken tradition since the 1620s. Holy cow.
No,
No,
not-
probably 1920s. I didn't change this article. I didn't write this. It says 1620s. There was no NFL in the 1620s. I don't even think there was an NFL in the 1920s.
Not a couple
No.
of those teams weren't on there. That's crazy.
Okay, so whatever they're talking about, maybe that person
the 1960s,
smoked a little bit.
The 1960s, I
Yeah.
can see.
Yeah, well, that's not what it says. So the Cowboys game is prime time for most safety meetings, as the older folks who might frown upon your shenanigans are going to be parked on the sofa. Keep the exit excuse simple. No need to make this into a Da Vinci Code subplot. Just going for a stroll will get you out the door clean 80% of the time. If a known family narc, though we love them, volunteers to come along, advise them that it's only a cousin's walk, and you and I definitely need some catching up time this afternoon. So just get rid of them, right?
Get rid of.
Stacy recalls, my sisters and I would tell our parents we wanted to do our own turkey trot. We would go on a smoke walk on a nearby trail before we had to start cooking. Then we'd come back happy and ready to cook, and would take turns sneaking out to the back deck while someone would stand watch. Now that we're older, my parents don't care, and they know exactly what we're doing. Brad, a longtime safety officer, says he volunteers to pick up a case of beer an hour before dinner will be ready so that no one will have to go out after dinner. Clever, Brad. And so I'll get my beer and on the way back, smoke with my cousins. Thanksgiving veteran Tom recalls, my cousins and I would excuse ourselves 90 minutes or so before dinner time, saying we wanted to go for a long walk to the park to build up an appetite. We'd throw the basketball around, get high, then walk back for the festivities just in time to sit down and eat. Many years later, we found out there was another subset of older adults doing the same thing, but they were out in the woods and back. Develop your own lingo. Dress up your code to suit the holiday. Phrases like Mama Stamberg's cranberry relish, okay, or let's go live to Al Roker on the parade route can mean any number of things. Stacy says again, my sisters and I always referred to weed as coffee. So it was always, hey, I could use coffee with this dessert. Anybody putting a pot on? That was the signal to leave the stash by the back door. Setting is important. Everybody loves to joke about hotboxing, but if you hotbox in your brother's car, your clothes, your skin, your hair, everything is going to smell. So don't forget to stay out in the fresh air. Mother Nature is a great evidence eraser. Allow for group expansion. With the coming of legalization, there may be surprise guest additions to your group. Keep an open mind, but there's no need to spoil the cousin vibe by inviting Uncle Uptight, who's suddenly down with the dank. Stay inside, buddy. There may be room for a second walk as a way to welcome the previously inexperienced or maybe the secretly experienced. Consider leaving your jacket and hat in the car prior to re-entering the house, or give them a good spritz of Febreze. Gum and breath mints will help too, and wash your hands and face in Grandma's guest bathroom, because our soaps that smell like old lady roses will surely flatten those lingering terpenes. No cousins? Well, then treat yourself to some time. Give yourself a little private time in that guest powder room. Says Nat, going for a walk was always too suspicious. It was easier to just go to the bathroom and sneak vape hits. Just pretend you're going in there to make room. And that's why you had to spray so much air freshener. Who's going to question that? So now go, eat, and if you time it correctly, you're about to enjoy the most delicious Thanksgiving dinner you have ever experienced in your many years on this earth. Compliment the food makers and fill up a second plate. Your final task is to scout and lay claim to an easy chair or a cozy spot on the couch. When that combination of THC, and tryptophan kicks in, you, my friend, are going to enjoy sleep.
Yeah, you will.
Nappy nap.
So before I go into this next article, I found all three strains, kind of like what this we're smoking. So thank you, Big Earl. It's called Chemsis Psychosis Cheese. So Chem Sisters, also known as Chemsis, is a sativa-dominant variation of the classic Chem Dog strain. The phenotype first emerged in '96 and was evolved in the uplifting long-lasting sativa we see on the market today. So it has strong cerebral effects, a distinct skunk diesel aroma, underscored by accents of sweet sandalwood and citrus. I would say this strain was pretty damn good so far. So the Psychosis strain is a 70-30 indica dominant, sativa dominant, and it's a hybrid though with a known partnerage, although it is thought to be a member of the headband family by some, even with a lack of information about its background. This baby is a favorite, many due to insanely euphoric and trippy high that will immediately get you up off the couch and moving and dancing and shaking all over the place. I made up some of that.
Yeah.
And then you have cheese strains, are an indica-dominant hybrid, typically 80% indica, 20% sativa. It's a very potent, sharp cheese-like aroma, and I've talked about cheese strains, how I don't like just smoking a cheese strain. I like cooking with it. I don't like smoking it. It's known for a relaxed, uplifting, and creative high that eases the mind. The immediate headstrong buzz is euphoric and upbeat. That's why I don't like it. It's too heady for me, the cheese strains, but I do like cooking with cheese strains. So those are the three that was blended all and bred together. So, but now to the article. New York cannabis farms have nowhere to sell a combined 300,000 pounds of cannabis valued at $750 million as delays continue for dispensaries in that state. I'm going to go to another article in a minute. The licenses were just issued. How to be right now a cultivator in New York and you can't sell any of your weed because you can't cross state lines. So what are you going to do with all that weed? I know what I would fucking do. New York cannabis farmers are unsure of what to do with the combined 300,000 pounds of weed valued at $750 million without open dispensaries to sell the pot. Funny thing to some, maybe not funny things to all, but this was blowing up all over the fucking internet, and everyone was saying, welcome to the club, because you ain't the first state this happened to. So, applicants for legal cannabis retail stores are still waiting to hear. They were issued. I'll go into another article in a second. The CCB is scheduled to meet on. They met on Monday, although they got some decisions to make very, very quick. So, basically, the wholesale value of this is $2,500 a pound in New York right now because it's a new market. You can get it right now. But it's not going to be for long. Today, the legal recreation cannabis market has installed applicants of the first only 150 licenses. That's it, 150 for the whole state of New York, and the population just in New York City is just crazy. So the clock is ticking. Cannabis will start getting a little old. And they're trying to retain as much quality as possible. So that means they're going to fucking sell it anyway for even a discount because you're going to start it off fucking evil. Mm-hmm. You know, they're going to have to get, no one's going to take shitty weed. So you're going to sell it on a discount going, well, I got to get rid of it or else I'm going to lose my business already. And we haven't even started yet. So this is the bullshit of the cannabis industry. When you try to, when you give licenses out and you have the growers start growing, but then you delay everything else.
Right.
You just $750 million. A lot of those people probably spent $25-30 million getting their shit up and running, maybe more. And this is what we're dealing with. So, take a deep breath. Anyway, storing cannabis properly. We've talked about it a bunch of times. I still talk about it this day. There's so many different ways people store cannabis. We have something really nice that we store our cannabis in. But Mrs. Weedman is going to tell you and teach you and school you on how to store your cannabis properly while I smoke another big fat bowl.
It's high time you learn how to store your cannabis properly. Something else that we should point out, too, for some of the newer listeners or newer consumers is don't touch your cannabis a lot. The less you touch it, the better. But this is not about that. This is about how to store it properly. Good old ganja, that sweet, sweet nug. You might be loyal to just one strain of cannabis, or you might keep a few different varieties so that you're ready for whatever mood strikes you. Regardless, you probably have more than one session's worth of smoking material, which means that you need to store the excess. If you don't store your flower the right way, you can end up with a flavorless or harsh smoke that doesn't even give you the benefit of getting high. Whether you're growing and drying your own or shelling out some green to cottage vendors for specialized strains, storing your stash successfully will ensure that you have what you need whenever you want it. So, short term storage. Please, for the love of all that is good and holy, do not store your herb in a plastic baggie. Please.
Please.
There are so many better options for short term storage. The baggie may seem like a good option because it has a low profile, but find an airtight, reusable, smell proof, and small container instead. Sunlight causes herbal potency to degrade, and humidity can cause mold. So, when storing your flower, stay as far away from these two things as possible. For short term use, store only as much as you can use in a short amount of time in an airtight container with a two-way humidity pack. Citrus peels will help keep the right humidity in a pinch, but they can also transfer some of their flavor to your weed, which you may or may not find enjoyable. Glass containers do really well keeping the skunk smells in the jar without transferring any contaminating odors to the bud itself, like plastic or non-food grade metals can do. Then you have long-term storage, and then there's always the debate, the fridge or the freezer or neither, right? Well, there is some debate among cannabis connoisseurs about the validity of using the freezer for long-term storage. On the one hand, one 4-year-long study showed that in a controlled environment, THC potency lasted the longest when the buds were kept in the freezer. Next to the freezer, the refrigerator was the best option, but storing the cannabis out at room temperature, both in light and darkness, guaranteed almost 100% degradation of the THC content. The problem with the fridge and freezer is that they vary pretty significantly in temperature and humidity. And getting weed too cold has its downfalls. When cannabis freezes, all of those delightful trichomes or keef get brittle and can fall off, resulting in less of a high. If you're going to store your stash in the fridge or freezer, there are some steps you can follow to keep your weed as intact as possible. Start by using a non-reactive container, such as glass. And, if you can, use a vacuum sealer to remove excess air from the jar. Then, when you're ready to use your stash, pull it out of the freezer and let it thaw at room temperature, leaving it undisturbed until it is ambient temperature will give you a greater likelihood that your buds maintain both their trichomes and their integrity. You might ask about cannabis humidors. Well, humidors for cannabis are not the same as those for tobacco. So unfortunately, you can't just repurpose your grandpa's old cigar humidor. Not only does tobacco like humidity levels that will cause mold to grow on cannabis, but the cedar wood in a tobacco humidor could negatively impact the flavor and smokability of your cannabis. Luckily, since appropriate humidity is crucial to storing your weed, cannabis humidors are starting to hit the market. These attractive containers are not only great for keeping your stash at the right relative humidity, but they also protect the trichomes and terpenes that make smoking so enjoyable. And then there are stash boxes, and that is a great way to keep all of your parts and products together in an attractive and secure location. They have enough room to hold a few different strains as well as your smoking method of choice, whether it be a dugout or a one-hitter, vape pen or mini bong. Stash boxes are great for long-term storage because they are simple to store in a cool, dry place, and you can stick a humidity pack easily into the separate strain containers so that your herb maintains ideal humidity. And lastly, there's travel storage. When you're traveling, you need a way to keep things safe and low-key, and we have you covered. Some products, like the DOP kit, combine the best of both worlds with an outer smell-proof bag and an inner smell-safe carbon-lined bag.
I love all the new stuff that you and
we
the
found
kids got me.
Yeah.
All the
don't-
bags.
I can't
all
think
of
of
them
the
smell
brand,
proof.
but we
Revelry or
yeah, Revelry, I think it was.
Revelry.
Heavy duty canvas
yeah.
bags that are all smell proof.
They're amazing.
Yeah. And then there's smaller bags that are perfect for traveling, and they include the brand's Flat Pack, Crypto Kit, and Head Case. And since we're promoting these other products, I might as well throw in that 8 Decades has wonderful glass jars.
Throw
and they
yourself
are
a plug, Mrs. Weedman,
there's my
please.
little plug. They are Mirren glass, which is a violet glass, and it is the only authentic violet glass. It comes from the Netherlands. It's the actual factory where Mirren glass is made. So we import it here and have our logo put on it. And the glass allows UV light to get in, certain rays to come in, beneficial rays to come in. And it is odor proof, and I mean you could put your jar of weed on your kitchen counter, and the light will not affect it in a
Keeps
bad
the bad
way.
ultraviolet rays out, brings the good red
ones in.
ultraviolet rays in.
Good shit.
Good shit.
Good shit.
Keep our
We're gonna have a
weed
promo
fresh.
code for the upcoming holidays, so there will be more about that soon.
Soon.
There's my plug. That was a little commercial.
You deserve it. It was a good one, too. New York awards first batch of long-awaited licenses for recreational dispensaries. So now, here it goes. We talk about the cultivators, 300,000 pounds of weed ready to sell, and the first batch of long-awaited licenses are awarded. Crazy. Crazy. Fucking crazy. Now, I'm glad I will say this, New York did a great job with social equity licensing and stuff like that. I'm not taking anything away from that with the dispensaries. All I'm getting at is their timing fucking sucks. And there's like one dispensary license in the Bronx, New York. What the fuck? What are you against the Bronx, New York? What's going on there? So, 13 dispensaries will be located in New York City. Oh, sorry, 3 in the Bronx, 4 in Manhattan and in Queens, 2 in Staten Island. None were issued in Brooklyn due to an ongoing lawsuit. All the boroughs aren't being taken care of. Terrible.
Terrible.
You have 300,000 pounds of cannabis going to go bad if you don't fix this and get it more out there. There's licenses in limbo. It's just an ugly situation. It's just like here in Illinois. The first 185 licenses took to now, then 3 of them are opening up out of the first 100 and just shit. So good luck, New York. You're not the first state and you ain't gonna be the last. Sorry. Congress passed a landmark cannabis research bill. Biden is expected to sign it with his signature, which is great. And it's gonna basically approve landmark legislation to expand medical cannabis research, making it the first time both chambers of Congress have passed a standalone cannabis bill. The measure, titled the Medical Marijuana, I don't know why they don't put cannabis in there. It drives me nuts. Medical Marijuana and Cannabinol Research Expansion Act, received and approved of the House of Representatives during the summer and now heads to the desk of the President Joe Biden for his consideration. It's great. It's awesome. It's a start. More of a start, but could be doing so much more. But I'm glad it's more about the research, because they're still staying away and not putting their fucking toes in the water and getting more bullshit done. So, but he's expected to sign the bill, which is great. It still doesn't take care of the decriminalization or getting it off like the Schedule 1, which just get it off to Schedule 1. Let the states handle it. Here's something great. The Oregon governor issues cannabis pardons for almost 50,000 people. Isn't that awesome?
That's awesome.
It's awesome. The governor of Oregon is granting a mass pardon for state-level cannabis possessions offenses that will provide relief to an estimated 45,000 people, close to 50,000, and that's what our office said on Monday. Governor Kate Brown, cannabis clemency action, will also involves forgiveness for more than $14 million in fines and fees. Comes about a month after Joe Biden issued the thousands of pardons for federal cannabis possession cases. She just took Biden's advice, because Biden said to all the governors, you should be following suit, and she's the first.
Good.
First.
Hopefully some others will follow.
Hopefully a lot more will follow. So, Awesome. 47,144 convictions for possession of up to 1 ounce of cannabis that took place before 2016 that will be cleared from the records of an estimated 47,144 people. That's awesome. Good for you, Governor. Governor. Arizona exceeds 1 billion in legal cannabis sales, even with their fucking, like, they're in a downslide right now with cannabis. They ain't growing worth their shit right now. And it's been, like, bad. Like a 12% dip from card holders and sales. But they did over 1 billion. So good for you, Arizona. North Carolina. North Carolina. I really thought they would put it on the ballot this time around, and they didn't. But here's something great. And what's great, it makes me even happier that the United States government can't do dick about it. North Carolina tribe begins first legal medical cannabis harvest in the state. The Cherokee tribe in North Carolina has started harvesting medical cannabis and expects to open a large MMJ retail store next year. According to the Charlotte Observer, the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians in harvesting on tribal lands about an hour west of Asheville, which is the first Native American territory in which the state where medical cannabis is being grown. Koala Enterprises, the tribal subsidiary of business, plans to employ 400 to 500 workers when the company is fully operational. General Manager Forrest Parker told the Observer. The tribe will have a more solid date for the dispensary opening next year, Parker added. The tribe's EBCI Cannabis Control Board will regulate cannabis business licensing and will issue MMJ cards. Qualified patients 20 and older will be able to apply. Tribal leaders have told the Observer that non-members of the tribe will be allowed to buy medical cannabis as long as they have a card and meet specific criteria. Patients will be limited to 1 ounce of cannabis per day, not per day. Damn, I like your style. Not to exceed 6 ounces per month. Cool. Or 2,500 milligrams of THC in a product per day, not to exceed 10,000 per month. That's edibles, tinctures, all that stuff too. So, available products will primarily be flower, pre-rolls, edibles, concentrates, and topicals, the Observer reported. The tribe, which generally is not subject to North Carolina laws, is getting a head start on creating an MMJ industry since the proposal for the state-approved legalized industry stalled in the legislature in 2021. North Carolina has been growing industrial hemp since 2017 after creating a legal industry. Good for them. That's so awesome. That makes me so happy. And we're coming into what indigenous, or is it what is it coming up in the next day or two? Native American Heritage Month or Day. It comes Friday, November 25th.
The 25th.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Go. I'm coming out there soon. I'm going to keep on following this. I'm excited. So, I used to be a mixologist somewhat.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I knew how to mix drinks and cocktails and stuff, but I didn't like doing all the foo-foo stuff they do now. But the rise of cannabis mixology intrigues me.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell us about it, Mrs. Weedman.
All right. Although it is true that great cocktails come down to the perfect balance of spirit, sweet, sour, bitter, and salty, there is creativity and achievement to be made in the exciting realm of cannabis mixology. It seems like every time you enter a dispensary, there's a brand new way to consume cannabis. One of the latest trends in recreational cannabis consumption is less inspired by exotic creativity and scientific achievement. It's derived from hundreds of years of mixing and shaking behind the dark mahogany bars of the world. The cannabis cocktail is quickly gaining popularity as a fun and effective way to ingest CBD or THC. Retail beverages like THC seltzers are available in recreational dispensaries nationwide, and they are exploding in popularity. These retail beverages are a popular way to enjoy cannabis, but some enthusiasts are turning the concept of drinking cannabis into its highest art form, the crafted cocktail. By savoring cannabis through a straw, a union has formed between budtender and bartender, and the result is delicious. Cannabis mixology can be approached in many ways. There are cocktails with strong spirits and alcohol-free elixirs, just as there are libations infused with THC, while others use only CBD. all variations will affect the way the consumer feels an hour later. But in crafting these modern classics, the flavor comes down to the same balancing techniques used in any classic cocktail. Cannabis cocktail experimentation maintains the same balancing act as alcohol, but adds the very specific flavor profile of cannabis. Although the perfect balance for a great cocktail can be found using an array of different specific ingredients, certain flavors are already beginning to stand out as favorites. Citrus flavors like grapefruit, lemon, and lime are among the most common, popular ingredients in many cannabis cocktail recipes. Grapefruit drinks like Wonder's grapefruit hibiscus are sought after flavors. Its bright acidity and slight bitterness likely helps complement the flavor of the cannabis while also balancing the flavor profile of the overall drink. Most cocktails play with the herbaceous flavor of cannabis rather than trying to completely mask that flavor, which is perhaps why other herbs are finding their way into these new drinks. Basil, cilantro, rosemary, and even tea extracts have all been folded into different recipes. For cocktails with THC but no alcohol, one trend is to use tranquil flavors reminiscent of spa relaxation. Notes of cucumber, aloe, and even watermelon are infused to alcohol-free elixirs to bring more tranquility to the already relaxed beverage. The flavor reminds the consumer of a healthy space, perhaps yoga, the spa, or vacation. Michelle Sundquist, Director of Innovation and Product Design, told Cannabis Products. Although it is true that great cocktails, new and old, come down to the perfect balancing of spirit, sweet, sour and bitter, and salty, there is creativity and achievement. And this really is going to be a delicious realm of cannabis. So, are dispensaries? I know when I was in Vegas, Planet 13 had like a bar in the center.
Yeah.
That was a few years back. I don't know. I don't go to a lot of our dispensaries here, but there's not.
There was
drinks.
one dispensary I went to, and they were on 420, and they were having mocktails.
Yeah.
They had a little bar, but it wasn't inside the dispensary. It was like in their lobby.
Okay. Well, you've bought packaged like
Drinks?
Yeah, drinks,
Yeah.
but they're more like, it's like 100 milligrams in the bottle. So you're not really having a cocktail with it. You're having a
Right.
sip,
Right.
right?
Or you're mixing it in soda,
Into
or you're
something,
mixing,
yeah.
you're mixing it into seltzer or something like that, and then you can make it a cocktail. But also those canned drinks we've had, those 2.5.
No, those are
milliliter,
nice.
Those are good. You can mix those with vodka
Those are
because the
really
lavender
nice.
one is pretty decent. You can mix that. So those are fun too. And there's a bunch of other
Brands out
cultivators that make different types of drinks too. They seltzers and stuff that you can mix and stuff. So it's fine. But the mixology aspect of what you're going to see coming in the future, especially when bars are allowed to serve maybe a tincture.
Could you imagine? Wouldn't that be
It's
cool?
gonna be awesome. Like
Yeah.
maybe you can't like serve like weed, but you'll be able to serve tinctures and make low dose 2.5 milligram cocktails and stuff. That'd be fucking awesome.
That'd be great.
Make the experience of going to a bar a little different and fun. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Inside international news. Inside the UK's first ever cannabis vape lounge, tucked away in the quiet part of county of Antrim in Northern Ireland, is a place where those who are able to are allowed to consume cannabis products completely at their leisure and legally. It's called the Stay Medicated, and it's a cafe that provides equipment for people to consume cannabis, and they've been prescribed medically, although the man behind it hopes one day to sell recreational cannabis as is possible in the U.S. and places like Amsterdam. However, there's a long way to go until Ballycare Amsterdam of Ireland, but that hasn't stopped Alan Robinson, or N.I. Cannaguy, as he's sometimes known, for setting up the UK's first dry herb vape lounge in the small rural community. Medical cannabis on private prescription has been legal since 2018, and a lot of people we meet up in the dry herb vape lounge don't know that, so we provide information for them, he explained. I have a prescription myself for severe anxiety and depression, so I myself would vape on the premise. But anyone that has a private prescription can come up and talk to people. At the very start, it was very strange. We had quite a few pensioners up, so we had a couple of wee grannies up wanting to know which of us was the proper medical vaporizers and which were the best vaporizers. Listening to them chatting away, They were talking about being able to play with their grandkids and spend time in their gardens. And they were happy, which I didn't see coming. What is it more than just a vaporizer shop, coffee shop, and a meeting place for grannies, though? State Medicaid is not currently allowed to dispense weed. Robinson hopes that one day he might be able to, but currently he just helps people out with their products and they can come in and consume their cannabis. Unfortunately, we're unable to dispense at this minute, and it would be unbelievable to do that. Vaporizers and cannabis on private prescription at the minute can be quite expensive, so people can sign up to a membership, which gives us free use of the device that we have. If they want to buy one, they could buy one. It helps keep the lights on. That's great. And then he serves hot chocolate and it's a nice social lounge that people can come and chill and enjoy cannabis freely. And we have a lot of people with PTSD, mentally health issues, and chronic pain, and we help them walk through it all. Northern Ireland isn't exactly the place that you would associate with legal cannabis cafe, but apparently the local community and politicians have been very supportive. That's fucking awesome. So he hopes one day to be able to dispense cannabis in his store, and it's just a matter of time, he says. That's awesome. So top Colombian official reaffirms government support for cannabis legalization bill scheduled for Senate vote this week. That's awesome. Man. A top Colombian official reiterated on Monday that the government supports a bill to amend the country's constitution to legalize cannabis, a proposal that's been advancing in the legislature and is expected to receive a Senate vote on Tuesday. That sounds great. Well, here's what you need to do, Colombia. Get it fully legalized and don't do what's going on in Thailand right now. Now they're trying to take back and recriminalize weed right now because it's just fucking amazing what they're doing there, and the government can't keep up with it, I guess. I don't want them to control it. I'm going to say keep up with it. So they're going to try to control it. And Thailand, do not fuck this up because it's amazing. Everything I've been reading and seeing and watching, and just people being able to sell cannabis freely in markets and stuff like that. I dream of that one day here in this country. That home growers or caregivers can go to markets and sell their weed to patients.
Mm-hmm.
Be amazing.
That would be great.
And that's what they're doing in Thailand. Just going all those markets and shops, those street shops and stuff. Just people set up shop, edibles, fucking weed, and you can fucking cheap too, man. Fuck, and good looking stuff too. Thai sticks all over for everybody. Make it rain Thai sticks. What is one of the most classic stoner burner pothead films of all time?
Half Baked. And it's finally getting a sequel.
Now, wait, before we go into this, all right? We know who the OGs of this. I mean, one of my favorite of all time is Dave Chappelle. I mean, I'd love to sit and smoke weed with him and just hear him talk. You know, I could sit here and it would be amazing. But also, Jim Breuer is fucking amazing, fucking hilarious. I mean, those two alone made that fucking movie unbelievable, you know? And for them to do a sequel, it would have to be really good, like to come up to make sure it's that good of a stoner movie. I mean, this is classic. This is like Cheech and Chong high fucking classic. I mean, this is one of the best, top 5 of all time. You know, to me,
right?
But be tough, right?
Well, they're trying. They're trying.
Tell us about it.
The classic pot comedy film Half Baked is in production for a sequel nearly 25 years after its initial release. Well, if that doesn't make you feel old. And in case you're wondering, no, neither Dave Chappelle nor Jim Breuer will be returning for the second installment. At least there's been no word yet of either of them signing on. If you stop reading now or listening now, we don't blame you. Chappelle was undoubtedly the star of the original Half Baked. Everyone remembers him from playing not only the movie's protagonist Thurgood, but also the chronically impaired weed rapper Sir Smokes-A-Lot. According to Consequence, the sequel will instead feature Dexter Darden from Saved by the Bell as Thurgood's son, JR, or Junior. He'll be starring alongside Moses Storm, Ramona Young, Ash Santos, Joel Courtney, and David Koechner. Comedian Jeff Ross and Malcolm in the Middle's Frankie Muniz will appear as guest stars. The sequel will focus on the new, younger cast as they try to raise money for their friend's funeral, who died from smoking the world's strongest joint. So if Chappelle and Brower aren't in the sequel,
I think it's Brewer.
Brewer?
Yeah.
Who's definitely coming back? At least half of the original cast. That includes Rachel True as Mary Jane and Harland Williams as Kenny. Reports haven't confirmed if Guillermo Diaz is coming back as Scarface. The movie is based on a screenplay by Justin Hires of 21 Jump Street and will be directed by Michael Tides. It will likely be released straight to streaming and DVD in 2023.
Straight to DVD.
Yeah,
Not even
DVD.
Good. Not even good. Yeah, who the fuck watches DVD?
Streaming.
Right, but
So they don't even have high hopes for it.
not
I
even
guess.
to go in the movie. If Chappelle,
It'll be cute, I'm sure, but
they
it's not
should.
going to be.
I mean, come on. I mean,
Yeah.
pay him some money to do it, but they should make it a
Well, to make a
good,
little cameo.
not even
drop
just a
in.
cameo. They should be in it for at least like a good 30 minutes, somewhat
They should
throughout
play
the
the
movie.
uncles or,
whatever.
actually,
Fuck,
yeah.
man, come on.
What the heck?
It's not always about the money; it's about the tradition.
That's right.
We all made enough money in this fucking world. You make money off of the royalties of the film. Fuck it. It's because it'll fucking sell out all over if you fucking play it. People will buy all the merchandise and all that shit because you're in it. Come on. It's a classic.
Yep.
But maybe they shouldn't remake the classic.
Just leave it alone. Sometimes it's
Sometimes-
better left alone.
Sometimes it's better just left alone.
I know.
And come up with something new.
Sometimes.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But you got anything else to say, Mrs. Weedman?
Are you really high
I
again?
just took another hit.
I'm ready to get high again.
You ready to get high again?
Yeah. I need some more
Take
of that.
another hit.
Give me that.
There you go.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes.
Hopefully you have some friends or family to spend the day with. Or I have to tell you, our own children won't even be around for the holidays.
Yeah, not this year.
And it's been many years between military and college and moving to different places. There might be one of them here for a holiday here and there, but we have not had our kids home for the holidays consistently.
We got to see him last year for Christmas. We went out there, but home, no.
So we all have our thing, right? And we all want to be able to be with the people we love. So however that works out for you, I hope it works. And I hope that you can find pleasure in the day and have a warm meal. My point of talking about them being at a distance is that FaceTime and what is the messenger app on Facebook even. I mean, there's so many ways to personally connect with people over a computer.
Yeah.
And it really, take it from parents who have children that live across the country. It is a game changer. So hop on a call and have a nice meal with somebody over the computer. It feels like people are right there with you.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's pretty nice.
I mean, there's so many different
close as it can
social
get.
media apps now that have talking on. There's WhatsApp. There's free apps that you can use. So if you don't, and if you don't have it, man, it's Thanksgiving. Just help somebody out.
Yeah.
5 minutes so they can say hello to their loved ones.
Yep.
That's it. You never know. It's a good deed. It's Thanksgiving. It's be thankful. That's why I love the holiday, because it's just it's not about giving gifts. It's about being with people you love and care for, and
having a good meal together.
Yeah, and just giving thanks that you're alive.
That's right. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's why it's always our favorite.
Yeah. 4th of July and Thanksgiving are my two favorite. Of course, when you're a kid, Christmas is Christmas, but
Well, yeah, because you're getting presents.
when you're a fucking adult, though, and you're broke after Christmas for a couple months.
We don't love Christmas so much.
Not anymore. I do like it, but
No,
it's
it's
not.
fun.
It's not like Thanksgiving though, or like just 4th of July, or just they're great.
Yeah.
Just celebration and getting fucking high. And here's the thing: have some fun with. I mean,
Have the conversation about it. Bring up, if you're a smoker and not everybody's a smoker at the table, maybe not at dinner time. Grandma won't appreciate that.
wait till
But
after.
dessert time.
Yeah,
over
coffee
and
time.
cake, pie and stuff. That's when you start just bring up the munchies and
Right.
just talk about it, because we will not change people's minds if we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And if they can understand from firsthand experience that cannabis is not as harmful as the government made it sound, you could be your best advocate.
Yep.
So
I mean, I'm bringing joints to Thanksgiving, and after
Yeah.
dinner, we're gonna go right out to the garage and open the door up. And
I would say there's going to be maybe 2 people left at the table.
Right.
Most of the people going smoke.
Smoke now. Yeah.
I could think of 4 people that'll be sitting at the table, and the other 14 of us will be in the garage
It's
smoking.
True. It's true. Don't be scared about cannabis anymore. To talk about it to your family and friends and loved ones. I mean, come on. If
We
they're
talk about booze all the time. You talk about drinking, talk about getting wasted, talk
Yeah.
about going out to a bar, the best new cocktail you had. Talk about weed.
Yeah.
Just throw it in the mix. And you don't have to like be a hammer about it. Just bring it up. Make it light. Keep it light. Offer grandma a joint. Come on, grandma. Before you have that pumpkin pie, come and smoke with me.
because it'll make the pumpkin pie even better.
It'll be so good.
That'd be the best
And your
pumpkin pie
achy
ever ate.
feet, you will feel so much
Oh,
better.
grandma. I mean, I've seen some videos of people giving edibles to their grandparents now a lot more
Well,
than
who's that?
ever before.
That Dab and Granny or whatever her
Oh
name
yeah,
is.
Dab and Granny.
She hits that friggin' bonk.
She
like a
fucking
champ.
rips dabs like a fucking champ, and like not just one a day.
Oh,
Like,
do you want the bowl?
no, I'm good for right now, thank you though. But just show pictures of Dab and Granny.
Yeah.
You know, the videos on Instagram that she puts. I mean, she's great. She just fucking rips dabs all day long. So show you. I don't even know how old she is, but just show your parents that. You know, and just say, look at her. Look at her.
That's kind of the extreme.
Yeah, but I mean, she's
good to
fucking
see,
she's
yeah.
been ripping fucking dabs forever and smoking weed forever.
And having a good old time.
And she's fucking looks great.
Yeah.
She fucking got a straight head and she's fucking
She's a straight-
like straight minded. She's fucking straight minded. She ain't fucking a wackadoo. Yeah. Well, everybody out there, have a great Thanksgiving. We love you all. Thank you. We're thankful for you.
We
for
are.
just listening to us and supporting the journey and supporting 8 decades. And man, don't forget those jars. And we're gonna throw some codes out there, but we thank you for just the support and the love and just the friendship and the community and just just people talking to us and people joining in on the conversation. We love it. It's just it keeps the zen rolling. It keeps keeps me going, knowing that I get great emails and great DMs of just people that just appreciate us doing what we're doing, and I'm thankful for you, and we love you all out there, and we'll keep on doing this for you. And have a great week, everybody. Enjoy your days off if you have a day off, and smoke a lot of weed, eat a lot of turkey, and show a lot of love. As Paulie always says, smoke smart, puff puffing away.
Puff, puff, pass.